even economically. You know, I know I'm turning down a different street, but I do believe economically the church can be empowering people. Because one church I used to go to actually had a plan to create their own credit union and bank. And they didn't get to that point. But if, you know, there's such a clamor to get these big major banks who are greedy and just honestly are greedy and don't really care about people, who are getting bailouts and still not treating people right, who are getting bailouts and are still giving their CEOs a bonus and then filing bankruptcy later. You know, it's like, if the church started using the resources, there are many people who are gifted financially within the church who can help the church create banks, create organizations that are rehabilitating communities. If it wasn't for the government to put money into this community, this facility, this $10 million facility sitting in this community has all the resources right now to change that whole area, that Jerusalem that God has placed it in. And it's heartbreaking when I see that. You know, it really is.
That's you know, what you're talking about, I think is can be the beauty of the body of Christ. Because if you think about it, there are many members with many different gifts. And so how do, you know, we release the members of the church to use their gifts for the building of the kingdom? See, the way we do church, it can almost seem like those who have preaching gifts, teaching gifts, singing gifts, you know, hospitality gifts, some mercy gifts, like those are the gifts that are needed within the church. And we don't do church in a way where we see like the administrative gifts and the gifts of giving and generosity. Like all of those are gifts that God has given. So people who don't have those gifts where they can use them in a service on Sunday, you know, they're just out like, all right, then I guess I just got to use these gifts in the world. But God gave them those gifts to bless the body of Christ that can be used for the redeeming purposes of God. But the way in which we kind of operate as church, it doesn't give them the freedom. So they almost feel like the only avenue I have to use my gifts is to take it out here. Because it doesn't seem like they're valued within the kingdom. And every one of those gifts are valued. So if we begin to see like, what are the gifts that God is giving you and how can that be used to bless this community? Then we may see things beginning to flourish up instead of having kind of that micromanagement of church. This is what it looks like. This is how we gonna do it. And if it doesn't fit in this, then, you know, it doesn't work. But it's just like, well, God, what do you want to do with the people that you brought together? How do you want to use us to reach this neighborhood? And oftentimes the preacher's gift may be one that, you know, it's like, because everybody else is utilizing their gift and they're encouraged to go out in the community and to use it out there and there's platforms in which to do it. Then the preacher is like, they're out serving, they're out living, they're out blessing. And then what they're doing is they're inviting people to come back. And now the preacher has the job to help to build them up and to help them to learn about this God and to be built up. But there were other people using their gifts to even help them to see Christ in a more real way. But we almost put all of the onus like it's the pastor's job. And it's like, no, it's all of our job in a unique way to show forth the reality and will we see that and will we operate in such a way that's true.